Do you want to know the real reasons why Ryan Garcia was knocked down for the first time in his professional career against Lucas Campbell? Well, stay tuned to this video. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Make sure you smash the like button. Also, subscribe to my channel for the latest and greatest in boxing. If you want to become part of the gang, notification gang, please hit the bell icon. Let's get into it. Now, a couple disclaimers. Make sure you guys smash the like button and also subscribe to my channel. Hit the bell notification. I got a couple disclaimers. Now, I'm doing this for a couple different reasons. First of all, I'm going to give these disclaimers just so we're all clear. This video is not to berate, bash, or, insult Ryan Garcia. In fact, I think him beating Luke Campbell, it was a great win for his career, should be a great learning lesson. But I used to do these kind of film studies in the past, and I'm kind of getting back to my roots. And I seen Ryan Garcia, the outcome was great for him. Again, a big learning lesson. This is not a video made to bash him, nor am I claiming to be the all-time boxing expert or Emmanuel Stewart or anything like that. But I did see some deficiencies and things that Ryan Garcia should tighten up on. And this is regarding his fight with Luke Campbell. So this is really an educational video like I used to do back in the day. And I wanted to show you some of the pickups that I seen. There's a lot of hot conversations about Ryan versus Devin Haney and Tank. And this is a good video because he just fought, especially if we're talking about Ryan Garcia versus Tank, a Southpaw. This is some things that Ryan Garcia is going to have to correct, him and his team, Eddie Reynoso, before getting in there with the vicious puncher like Gervonta Tank Davis, because he was in there with the Southpaw. And ironically enough, on the telecast, they said that Ryan Garcia said in the fighter meeting that he liked fighting Southpaws and he actually preferred it because he felt it was easier. But this particular fight was a fun fight. It was a competitive fight, but it was definitely far from easy. And Ryan Garcia was in some danger in the second round. He acquitted himself well. He got back up, finished the fight, and had a vicious body shot. But these are some things that I think Ryan can tweak up, especially fighting a Southpaw. Again, I'm not claiming to be bird sugar or anything. I just noticed a couple of things. Now, another last disclaimer. Smash the like button. I'm probably going to break this video into parts because I think it'll be more consumable instead of one lengthy video. So I'm going to break it into like more consumable steps. So this is the first part. Now, Ryan Garcia says he wanted to fight or he liked fighting against Southpaws, but I seen him make some poor choices or error in judgment. Again, he's young. This is part of the learning curve. And what I'm saying, there's no rule set in stone regarding these things. This is just my personal opinion based on what I was seeing in the Luke Campbell fight. When it comes to fighting Southpaws, there's different methods and different ideals, and you got to do what works. This is what Ryan decided to do and what he felt would work. There's no necessarily right way to fight a Southpaw. Each fighter is different. Each guy has different attributes, but there are some, I guess you could say, stereotypical similarities with Southpaws and some do's and don'ts. And that's what I want to explore in this video. So without further ado, let's get into it. Now, you guys can see in this first screen cap, and I can't show you guys the actual footage for copyright reasons, but in this first screen cap, Ryan Garcia, one mistake that I noticed he made in this fight was he was extremely aggressive, but it was bordering reckless aggression. Now, the great Floyd Mayweather has amassed a 50-0 record, and he fought Southpaws, great Southpaws. He fought Zab Judah, Manny Pacquiao, right? He fought against Victor Ortiz, DeMarcus Corley, etc. And of course, he's undefeated 50-0, and he beat all of them. No matter what age he was, no matter what point of his career, he beat all of them. as well as orthodox fighters. He's undefeated. And Floyd fought Southpaws. Like, go look at the Victor Ortiz fight. He fought him aggressive. He fought Pacquiao aggressive. He came out bombing Pacquiao with the right hand. But Floyd is just another level. You know, that's a hard act to follow, and, you know, big shoes to fill when we're talking about a boxing brainiac. But what I'm seeing right here from Ryan Garcia is his aggression wasn't methodical and calculated. He had pretty much steamrolled through his competition thus far, and it was like he was almost too eager to try to get that again and have this impressive, you know, sensational knockout highlight reel. And he got to leave that alone, in my opinion, because you got to take the victory as they come, and fighting Southpaws could be tricky. So a mistake I seen was with his aggression. He fought Luke Campbell in them early goings. You see, this is round 1, 30 seconds in, and look how aggressive he is. And more importantly, look at where his hands are placed, which leads me to this. You see in back-to-back screen caps, Ryan Garcia's hands are extremely low. Now, that's a immediate no-no when it comes to fighting a southpaw, because when you fight a southpaw, look at Luke Campbell's left hand. That's his primary weapon. And Ryan Garcia is wide open. Boom. Now, he happened to be fighting a British European fighter, Luke Campbell, but against a guy like a Gervonta Tank Davis that comes from Baltimore and the U.S. school of boxing, an uppercut, like certain hooks and uppercuts that's not necessarily as prominent in other regions, that would be vicious if you're completely unprotected, as you see in Ryan Garcia right here. Like that, you look at Ryan Garcia right there, he's totally open. He's totally open for a counter. He's in close quarters. He's in there with the southpaw, and the primary weapon of the southpaw is completely freed right there. You guys see it right there. So that spells trouble. Ryan Garcia is going to have to work on that. That's going to definitely spell trouble. You know, against a guy like Tank, if you look at Tank's last fight, he knocked out his opponent with the vicious uppercut. So Ryan Garcia, he can't make it that easy for a southpaw to attack him, right? Boom, countered, right? Aggressive, trying to bully the man, hands low, head way open, like his temple. You can get a nasty temple shot, which is debilitating, mess up your equilibrium. And then, you know, he did actually get countered. And then right there, he got backed up. See that? Hands low, bow. Bow, see that? Bow. Hands low, and he's backing up with his hands low. Now, another thing Luke Campbell was doing was, being a southpaw, he's ready to rock and roll. Look at his left hand, right? Look at his left hand, ready to shoot. Boom, 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 ready to shoot. But what he was doing was using his right hand as a feeler, and Ryan's already lined up for the southpaw left hand, right? So one thing, and in part 2, we're gonna talk about Ryan's footwork, because he made some mistakes there. He should have had his foot placement. Again, there's no one way to fight a southpaw, but most people will tell you to circle to your left, and you want your foot on the outside, and you have to have quick feet against a shifty or crafty southpaw. So what I'm seeing here is Luke Campbell has pretty much a high guard, and his left is up, protecting his temple, and ready, and cocked back, ready to pretty much shoot. And you look at right there, his right hand, he's using this as a kind of a probe to estimate. You know, there's different types of like jabs and stuff you could do, feints. Watch. Let's see if we can get it. Look. For Ryan, when you're fighting a southpaw, you have to win one of these battles. The battle of the footwork, and the battle of the pacing, or the battle of the jab. You have to kind of control distance with the jab. You have to have the right foot placement and the footwork. If you lose all those battles, it's gonna make your night way harder. So again, hands low, and then now Luke Campbell has his left hand up, and he's a southpaw, and he's using his right, and Ryan is not. He's not winning the battle with the lead hand. You see that? So it's almost to the point. I was actually surprised that I seen Ryan fighting like this, because he's very popular and he has an award-winning team. You know, he has the same trainer as Canelo, and it seems like they would have worked on this, especially since he said that he enjoys fighting southpaws. So this, to me, this is a big no-no. You got to win the battle of the lead hand. You got to win the battle of the jabs. And to me, it's crazy to think that Ryan Garcia, he's so unrefined in certain attributes, but he's able to survive off of fighter instinct and natural ability. And that's kind of what I've seen. Ryan, he's a beast for being able to even be in there and compete with an Olympic gold medalist. But against more aggressive guys and, you know, other southpaws, I don't know that the night would have been the same. So again, Luke Campbell, he got the guard up and he's using his right hand. Ryan, it's almost like you have to understand the sweet science. It's like he almost didn't know why he was doing certain moves. He's like kind of going through motions, but you got to know why you're doing it. Like he shot this jab, but it was really a throwaway. Like there was nothing to it. And then he just immediately went downstairs, right? So you got to win the battle of the lead hand. Boom, you see it right there. Ryan Garcia is wide open versus a southpaw. So you got to keep that lead hand busy. He just threw it out there and it got batted down, and now you're wide open. You see that? Like he shot it out there, and then he did that just to get in closer and I guess go to the body, but you left yourself wide open again versus a southpaw. So if he was in a little bit slightly better position, you know, he can send a vicious straight left, and Ryan would have got caught with that, right? You can't fight a southpaw like that. Boom, he got countered with the right. You see that? So as he was reaching, there's an old saying in boxing: you reach, I teach. You reach, I teach. So he's not like he got his lead hand batted down, and then he tried to go downstairs. All this in round one. This is all in the first round. He left himself wide open for the counter against a southpaw, which he could easily go right there, right? Easily. But Luke Campbell, for whatever reason, countered with the right, and he hit Ryan with the right, and he's still in line for the left, which is still cocked back. You guys see this, right? So if Luke Campbell was a little bit more creative with his array of punches, he could have set him up for a vicious 1-2, being a southpaw and a left-hander. Does that make sense? So he's wide open there, got hit with the right, but his left is cocked back, so he could, and he's a southpaw, so he could easily fire that out. Fire a vicious follow-up punch, you know? Ryan got jarred back and back. Look at his feet, which we'll get to in another episode. Hands are back low. And then he's still aggressive. And this is round one. Less than a minute has elapsed. You see he's 2 minutes and 6 seconds. And he's playing this cat and mouse game. Hands are too low. Some, like I said, some people, there's different strokes for different folks. Roy Jones, he kept his hands low. Sergio Martinez, but you got to know what you're doing, especially against a southpaw when you do that. And Sergio Martinez was a southpaw. So, you know, I didn't like how aggressive Ryan was. It wasn't calculated. You got to win the battle of the lead hand. Boom, boom. You're wide open. Then you get hit with the right. He could have easily followed up with the left. And then now you have to reset and your hands are back low. and your hands are still low, and you're trying to back him up into a corner. And some southpaws, especially let's say a European southpaw from England, one of their best punches is probably their straighter shots. So that straight left, and you're right. If you look at it, you're right in line for a straight left. You're right in line. Like, I mean, I don't think I could draw a better diagram. Hands are low, and you're right in line for that. So Ryan got to correct that. Hands back low. And I said hands low versus southpaw is no bueno. And you're trying to back this man up into a corner. Then you shoot from probably a little bit too far out. And meanwhile, Luke Campbell had a pretty good bounce early. And you see he's using his lead hand to probe. That's why he was bouncing and moving like that. He's trying to probe. You see that? He's trying to probe and maybe even bait Ryan in. But you got to win the battle of the lead hand. Boom. You see that? Look at his right hand. Look at Luke Campbell's right hand. Watch. He was kind of bouncing, changing levels a little bit, and kept that right hand out there. Still has the left at home, ready to shoot that. And once again, Ryan is wide open. So far too aggressive, and he's not winning the battle of the lead hand, and he's still in line for a left hand. So you guys see, this is still in round 1, 1 minute and 48 seconds left. Luke Campbell is dominating the battle of lead hands, and then boom, caught Ryan. You see? Look, it's all lead hand dominance. So it's like Ryan Garcia, in my opinion, he's just kind of going off of the fighter instinct. You know, you have to fight a southpaw a certain type of way, I'm trying to tell you. And then I like right here, Luke Campbell, he went low. You've seen this with Marcos Maidana and Broner. When they go low and you do that early and establish that early, then your opponent doesn't know if you're going to come back up top with something. So it's a constant thinking game. So Ryan got to get on the ball. And look, once again, look at the poor positioning from Ryan Garcia. He squatted down, lunging in against the southpaw, and you're just pouring in. He's just pouring in. So those are just a few things in volume 1 that I noticed with Ryan Garcia. In part 2, I'm going to kind of go over some various things as well. But hands were far too low versus southpaw. He left himself wide open. You got to get at the elite level. You're going to have to get a little bit more creative so you don't get countered like that. You know, you got to use some head movement. He was very stationary, flat-footed, and that's why he got caught like there. And you have to keep your hands active. That lead hand got to be active against the southpaw.
Jamarcus Chop Cody. I mean, I know, turn this way. Jamarcus Chop.
Southpaw.
So what I was doing, I was touching his glove. I'm gonna go to the pocket. I'm not showing you the pocket right now. I was touching his glove like this. So which I touch then shoot. With touch not shoot.
And you have to constantly be promoting the pace that you want to fight at. You don't really want to give a southpaw the advantage there with the pacing, because you have to understand, like my sister, she's a left-hander. She's the only left-hander in my whole family, right? So left-handers, they get used to a predominantly right-hand world. Most southpaws, they have no choice but to spar a ton of people who are orthodox. But there's certain gyms and certain fighters who, in the last year or two, they might not have sparred against any southpaws. If they weren't scheduled to fight a southpaw, then they may not have even fought and sparred and prepared or sparred or whatever with the southpaw. But it's almost the polar opposite for a southpaw. So Luke Campbell has seen many of right-hand fighters, but not every right-hand fighter has the specialty of dealing with southpaws. Like Amir Khan, he's a good fighter versus southpaws. Amir Khan, when he fights southpaws, he does really good. Like Zab Judah, he stopped him and stuff like that. So Ryan Garcia got to get on the ball and pick up some of the sweet science, because he was not even in there with a Gervonta Tank Davis, and some of these mistakes would be far too costly against somebody not named Luke Campbell, especially when they mix up the punches a bit more. You just can't be this open and vulnerable. Luke Campbell, he could have did some things different. He kind of let Ryan off the hook, and he doesn't have the same array of punches as a Tank Davis, nor does he have crazy speed. Against guys like Tank, he's athletic with speed and southpaw. You see Ryan hands are too low. So I wonder why Eddie Reynoso, Team Canelo, had Ryan Garcia. I wonder if they gave him any southpaw work, because it didn't really look like he was equipped to deal with an Olympic gold medalist southpaw, based on how he was fighting. And you have to understand, I give credit to Ryan Garcia because he fought how he did and he managed to come out with the victory. But these are just some things that he can button up with, because some people's left, you can't just accept that. So that concludes part 1. Make sure you guys tune in. Part 2 should be coming soon. Hit the bell notification icon. Ryan Garcia, why he got dropped. We're going to examine all of this. Smash the like button. Share the video. As always, hate, comment, and subscribe. Till next video is Ego signing off.
So if you enjoyed this video and want more content like this on the channel, you can show your appreciation by going to the PayPal donate button or the YouTube support button, and you can donate any amount that you feel is equivalent to the value of this video. Much more to come. Thank you guys for your support. Boxingego, the future of boxing.